the best in this sport. Whether you like it or not, learn to love it because it's the best thing going today. Woo!
Welcome in. What is good, everybody? Tavarres King, Knowshon Moreno. I am Blayne Gilmer. Cheers, fellas.
Yes,
we
sir.
are here on Georgia Players section on UGAsports.com, the biggest Georgia outlet there is out there on YouTube. And that's because of you guys. So go ahead and do that thing and like, subscribe, turn on notifications, everything that you guys have done to make this thing grow so much over the last year. We greatly appreciate it. Guys, we have a special guest on tonight. We got mailbag questions tonight. We got the Elite 11 countdown for the top non-conference games in the SEC. It is a loaded show tonight. If you're in here watching, go ahead and drop where you're watching from. We got Rhett Womack from Swainsboro.
Yeah, what it do?
Swainsboro
in here with us.
So
Let me get comfortable.
from the crib.
Absolutely. But guys, we are super excited because we have someone who's been in the trenches for the last 2 years with the Georgia Bulldogs, winning back-to-back national championships. Heck, he's been there longer than that, but now he's making a little bit of a move, making a little switch up because life happens. You got to do what you got to do. But super excited to bring on Mr. Ryland Goede. Ryland, thank you for joining us here tonight on Georgia Players section.
Fellas, appreciate it. Hey, I didn't know we were getting down like that. I got a little solo cup, but I ain't got nothing in it.
Okay.
Let me play you something, my boy.
I need something right here.
It's every episode, man. You got to tune in. You got to tune in.
This is my kind of guy. I had the cup over there ready, so I love it.
Come on now.
I knew I liked the kid.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Let me put Ryland up here for us. All right, guys. So, Ryland, man, we've got some questions for you, and everybody in the YouTube chat, if you got some questions for Ryland, you throw them in there because we got him on here for a little bit. But, Ryland, before we get going, man, you were kind of running through a little laundry list of things you got going on this spring, and boy, you busy man. So go ahead and tell everybody what this month of May is going to be looking like for you, my man.
Yeah, brother. The month of May is going to be it's going to be a wild one. We got finals and graduation the same week. Then head on a little bachelor trip with the boys. Gonna have some fun there.
He's getting married, fellas.
Yeah, I love it. Where y'all headed for the bachelor?
We're going up to North Georgia. One of my family friends got a lake house, so we're hopping up there for the weekend.
Okay, y'all going Burton?
I don't know where it is. It's not Burton. I don't know.
Lake Lanier? You be up there by me.
Definitely ain't there.
He ain't trying to disclose, he said.
Yeah,
I feel it. I like that. I knew I liked the kid.
Yeah, come on now. So I got that. Then come back, get married, go on the old honeymoon, and then come back in the day after the honeymoon to head to Starkville. A little hungover, a little tired for some team run. So
absolutely. Well, Tavarres, you got the first crack at him here. So go ahead and we got our questions out here. So go ahead, man. Lead us off, TK.
Yeah. Congrats on getting married. That's awesome. That's an awesome step in life for sure. Yeah, man. My first question is this, man. You're obviously going to Mississippi State, coming from a back-to-back national championship team. How are you stepping into this situation? I mean, it's new. You're coming into a team where you're gonna have to be learning a good bit, but you're coming from a team, where you just, you're with the elite of the elite. So with coming from that, you would suspect that you're bringing an energy, some type of leadership. How are you approaching, this new opportunity, this new situation?
Yeah, that's a great question, TK. I would say, the biggest thing that Coach Barbet, the OC at Mississippi State, and I have talked about, and Coach Schmidt, the tight ends coach, is, I didn't get to develop a ton on the field in game situation here, just because, the studs that we got. But one thing I did get to do is just learn from those guys inside the tight end room, on and off the field, and learn how to lead them. And so I think one of the biggest things I'm going into Starkville with is a mindset of just creating a tight end room culture that's going to last for 15, 20 years. And plus bringing 2 rings with it, hopefully a winning attitude. So
yeah,
just excited for a fresh start, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. And then you mentioned like being in that tight end room, but not just that, you got to go against a generational defense week in and week out. You got to go against linebackers and DNs and block those guys that I mean, quite honestly, you're probably not going to see at other places. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
so that too, you know, is something that you've got going against you. Just that, or going with you, is that level of competition, that level of play. So man, you're bringing a lot with you. So definitely bring that chip with you on your shoulder of confidence, because shit, it's there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, dude, I showed up freshman year and I was blocking split zone against Azeez Ojulari and Jermaine Johnson, like, bro, first rounders that are dudes. And I'm like, man, if I can do it against those guys, I mean,
Exactly, bro. So you 100% gonna be solid there. And this just my second question, you know, leading into Georgia. Obviously, everybody wants to know the quarterback situation. Losing a guy like Stetson Bennett is huge. Obviously, everybody knows what he meant to that team, what he brought to that huddle, his huddle presence. Who, in your opinion? I mean, obviously, you can be a little unbiased now. Yeah, I'm putting your ass on the spizzot. Who, in your opinion, you know, is that next guy? Not just from a physicality standpoint. We know they all have it, but who has that huddle presence? Who has that? You know, when you in the huddle, you looking at a dude, you're like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're like, oh shit, we about to get it done. Who has that? I mean, that's what everybody wants to know. I mean, everybody knows Carson Beck's that dude. Everybody knows
what the heck?
what we've seen, but what do you feel?
Oh wow.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I think the crazy part is all three of them are really, really, really talented dudes. They each bring something completely different. I would say I've spent the most time with Carson. Just running with the twos, and then on game day and stuff, running with him. And dude, like he's a dog. Like he is a freak. I mean, the stuff that y'all have seen is nowhere comparable to stuff that we've seen. And he's been showing it for the last 2 years. So I think, I spent the most time with him, so I know what you're getting from him. I think Gunner is sneaky. Gunner is so athletic that, I mean, it surprises you. And then Brock probably has one of the stronger arms out of the three that we call him the Wild Mustang because he just lets it ride.
The Wild Mustang.
The Wild Mustang. Okay.
You only got the here on Georgia Players section.
We gonna run with that Wild Mustang right there. I like that.
Yeah. So I mean, dude, I don't know. I think, having Coach Bobo, it kind of, evens the playing field for all three of them. But I mean, they're all three super, super talented.
Right. Okay.
Wanted to tell everybody in the chat, we see your comments. We're going to be getting to those in a couple of questions here. I
love CTs right there. But I think Knowshon might have something like that.
Yes. So we'll let Knowshon go because I think he's got that kind of lined
up.
What
did he say? Oh, well, shoot, mine was, and you kind of mentioned it earlier. And we can all kind of guess of why you were leaving. But my question was, what went into your decision of, to leave Georgia? Such a great school, all the great coaches. And, for myself, I just kind of think about just all those memories and the guys that you leave behind as well, your teammates. So, I mean, I know that had to have been tough. So, what else went into that decision?
Bro, that's a good question. I was telling TK pre-show, like, dude, I grew up a dog. So I grew up watching y'all boys on TV.
Okay.
Bro, I mean, huge fan when I was younger. And so it was honestly one of the toughest decisions. In my opinion, I thought I was just going to, for the first 2 years here, I was just going to spend my 4 years here, see what happened, and then just be cool with it. Because I've just always been a dog. And so that was really hard to give up. But also, I think within the last year and a half, I never had hopes of really going to the league until the last year and a half. And then you see guys around you doing it, and it makes it more real and attainable. And so it's become more of a realization that it could be real. And so I want to go pursue that because, I mean, shoot, when I'm 50, if I don't, then I'll regret it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I love that.
Give people the measurements right now, man, because you're big dude. You're big dude. You're not much different than what Fitzpatrick was.
Yeah, I'm right now I'm 6'6" and a half and about 265.
So. That boy a monster. Boy, that boy a whole monster out here. Wow.
That boy Darnell was like 6'8", 290.
Right. What y'all folks feeding y'all in middle school? Y'all was eating.
You see it?
Come on.
What'd you say?
Them boys some monsters, bro.
Sure, I thought you were saying what they eating at Georgia. I was about to say you saw that cafeteria. I think they got everything they want in there. Woo. It looked great in there. I wish we had that.
Bro,
it was all right, though.
We spoiled. We
I
spoiled.
feel you. Well, yeah.
All right, Knowshon, you got another one for him?
Yeah, my other one was what's the transfer portal like? You know, I mean, when I was coming out, you know, man, I didn't even know they had a thing called the portal. I know it was around, but I didn't even know what that was, right? So it was like, what's the portal like? You know what I mean? Is it like high school all over again where they rolling out the red carpet? Or is it just like, you know, you just go in there and it is what it is? And why Mississippi State?
Dude, that's a good question. The portal is, it's you know, it's in a sense it's the same way, but the approach to the recruiting is completely different. You know, in high school, like you said, it's the red carpet. It's trying to make you feel all good about yourself. And the portal, it's like, listen, we need you, and this is what you bring. It's a good fit. And if you like it, let us know. If not, let us know so we can move on. It's
so
very,
in essence, it's more. I mean,
interesting.
It's more business. It sounds real free agent.
Yeah, that's how it was for me communicating with Mississippi State, because they were one of the first schools to reach out to me, and I was really only talking to two schools. I was talking to them in Pitt, and Mississippi State was like, "Listen, we don't have any tight ends on the roster. You want to play? That's a great fit." And I was like, "You know what? That's right. I mean, dang right."
You know what? I didn't think about that because, you know, rest in peace to Mike Leach, and we'll get into that situation in a little bit. But they were air raid, and there wasn't a real need for a tight end in that offense. So that is that's kind of a wild concept there. Now that you think about it, that's interesting. Hey, I wanted to ask you, man, being in the offensive meetings and, you know, how involved Mike Bobo was this year in scheme and preparation and stuff like that. Coach Monken talked publicly about him, gave him a lot of credit sometimes. Just kind of speak to what you saw in terms of Coach Bobo and his involvement in the offense and maybe what people can expect going forward.
Real quick, TK and Knowshon, was Bobo there after y'all or when y'all were there?
No, he was ROC. That was
that's
my dog.
He's dude. He is,
well, yeah, that's my dog.
So he would be in a lot of our meetings and stuff, the tight ends. He was kind of just around the tight ends a lot. And dude, to be able to pick his brain for an entire year was gold. I mean, that dude is just has a depth of knowledge that is just not normal with the game.
It's unreal, man. Just show you safety rotations, pre-snap, things like that. You'd be like, what the? How you even? Yeah, so.
Yeah, bro. Like, I mean, pre-play, we're watching film, and he's like, this is what you should do. And it's like, I mean, what? Like, how in the world do you see that fast? But, dude, he's the depth of knowledge and detail that he's going to bring to even further that offense is, I mean, dude, he's anybody that doubts his ability that doesn't know football.
Well, there you go. There you go from somebody in the room there. All right, so I mentioned tragic situation that Mississippi State just went through, man. What's it kind of been like, the dynamic of entering into Mississippi State during this transition period? Because, you know, they're grieving, but at the same time, they're trying to move on and changing systems and all that kind of stuff.
Dude, that's a great question. And I mean, it's kind of a deep answer, but you know, with kind of what happened with us here in January, it was an interesting situation to be able to relate to them on a certain level. You know what I mean? And so, you know, not 2 weeks earlier than us, but kind of the same stage of the grieving process. And so we got to talk about his legacy over there with Coach Leach, and then, you know, they also were communicating with me about what was going on here and checking in on me. So it was a cool two-way street of how we both kind of understood what was going on with each other. And that was, I mean, that even made it our relationship in recruiting, you know, the 3 weeks that I was doing recruiting even deeper than it could have been.
Yeah. And it's not, and just to kind of get it back more on the lighter path there, it's not just one, I guess, future Goede going. You know, your future wife's going with you over there to the Bulldogs out west. She's going to play some volleyball over there. How excited are you about that? About both of you guys being able to make that move?
Did her decision play into? I mean, obviously, okay, cool.
That's a good question. I'll kind of give a little backstory about that. So, I knew I was probably going to end up going somewhere else to play towards the end of the season. And so she graduated in December, first week of December. And so when she graduated, she was like, I mean, shoot, I might as well put my name in to see if I can go play where you're going to play. And the first school to offer, and the only school to offer, was Mississippi State. And but that was still when Coach Leach was there running the air raid. And so I was like, listen, baby, I'm sorry, but like, that's one of the schools that it ain't a possibility. Like it just ain't. And then everything happened. I put my name in the portal, and then the coaching change happened, and it was just the stars aligned. So we're super excited to head out there together. And funny story, we were trying to book a lease for next fall, so we called this place that we really liked and we visited while we were there. And I was like, yeah, can we book a 1-bedroom for 2 people? And they were like, yeah, unfortunately, we don't do 1-bedrooms for 2 people unless there's a certain exception. And I was like, well, we're going to be getting married. That's got to be the exception. And she was like, nah, sorry, can't do. And I was like, what? What in the world, dog?
What's the exception?
Yeah, so we ended up working it out, but I was like, we're super stoked.
If that's not the exception, I don't know if I want to know what the exception is. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to have to judge that at a later date. Alex Page on YouTube asked here, man, he said, ask him what's the word on the offensive system that would be used Mississippi State since they're transitioning away from air raid. You mentioned Kevin Barbay that's coming there. He was at App State. Man, when you go watch App State last year, because I've went and watched them to kind of break down some Mississippi State stuff in another kind of deal I do, a lot of tight ends, a lot of condensed formations, a lot of motion, a lot of play action. What do you think about that system, man?
Yeah, dude, it was super exciting. They had all those numbers laid out for me when I went up there, and I got to hang out with all of them. But, App State played on a lot of Thursday, Friday games, and so I got to see a lot of their action. And they had 4 tight ends with over in double-digit receptions, so that was super exciting to see. They had 12 touchdowns, I believe, throughout the tight end. So just super excited to to be under his offense, and he was successful at App State, successful at Central Michigan. So, dude, he's a great football mind.
Yeah, and
Alex also wants to know, you and your fiance got cowbells yet?
Not yet. Hey, the rule is you can't buy your first one, so we're just waiting.
They got to be given to you, right?
Yeah,
they got to be given to you.
I like
so.
that.
People out there in Starkville, you got to hook them up with a cowbell now.
Need it. Come on, I'll tell you what though.
I want one too.
Yeah, send us a little regular.
For real.
Yeah, all right, I got y'all.
Yeah.
Now we have to ask, and it's a little convoluted with NIL and all that kind of stuff. Classic City Collective involved in the Real Talk podcast that you and Tate Ratledge have. Jay wanted to know about it. He said, ask him about the Real Talk show because it's legit. So listen, if you don't know, Real Talk pod, and we'll try to get the handle and everything shared out for everybody on Twitter and stuff. They were doing a little golf course action, TK. Ooh. They didn't do episodes.
What's the handy? What's the handy?
You ain't nice 11. Out there. Oh,
11. Okay, he's trying to get down there.
Dude, I used to play competitively there. That was the first sport I played. I'm trash now.
Really?
That boy said 11.
It should be like riding a bike.
He said
it's close, but it ain't. You got to spend every day on it.
That boy said 11. Saucy.
And I didn't know if you noticed, but in your honor, got the Mississippi State State helmet over here for you. I replaced the LSU helmet. Usually I keep the 2 SEC conference or SEC division champs right behind me, but got to go with the other Bulldogs since in honor of the guest here. But man, just tell them about your show and what's going to be happening with that, because it is. How does that work with it being a Class C collective thing and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, dude, that's a great question. And as far as where it's going to go when I leave, we're not 100% sure on how we're going to do that. Tate and I own 100% of the rights to it, so we can, make that decision and do whatever we want to do with it. But it came about just after the national championship last year. I'm a big Bussin' with the Boys fan. I love Taylor and Will, so I love following them. And I'm
tweeting at Will Compton every day trying to get him on the show.
Yeah, Will, come on the show, bro.
To us. They sent us some shirts, but they kind of went cold feet on us, so we'll see how it goes. But just loved that, and I was like, shoot, let's do something like that for college. And I asked Tate, and I thought Tate was a great personality to kind of match mine, and it's been fun. We've said some things that have definitely had to get cut. That's why we don't do it live, because there's about if the show that we do release, there's probably double that amount that we've had to cut because Tater Totter can get a little out there.
Oh yeah,
Tater Totter.
I like it.
Especially when he's got a little bit of that draft going over there on the side from him. He's got a draft dude that he's just putting it in there during the show, man.
Ooh, that sounds like my kind of show.
Yeah, we need to. Hey, y'all need to have the boys on there.
Dude, y'all come on. Seriously, next time y'all in Athens, we're looking for guests right now. It's been cold feet lately with guests. So whenever y'all in Athens, let me know.
Hey, we there
with it. I don't know if we should take, you said that you watched us and grew up watching us. I don't know if we should take it as a compliment or feel old as shit now.
I feel old, bro. I feel a little old.
What? I was just messing.
Nah, bro. Listen, I'm starting to feel
messing
old.
with you,
bro. It's crazy.
I'm messing. That's awesome though, and I appreciate that, man, because it was some good times. That's for dang sure.
So tell everybody how they can watch the show, all that kind of stuff before we let you get out of here.
Yeah, bro. So our handles on everything are at Real Talk WRT. So it's at Real Talk with Rylan and Tate. YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, everything there is. We're getting ready to start selling some merch here in the next couple weeks. So hit us up.
Betty, make sure you send the boys some. We'll send you some for sure.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely send you some.
And before he get out of here, Will Rogers, we want the ball.
Need it.
We want the ball.
Give him the ball. Give him the ball. One last sneaky one here for you before we let you go. Who, if you had to pick a Georgia guy maybe that nobody's thinking about for next year that's going to break out a little bit, who you thinking?
I'm gonna stick in my tight end room. Other than Brock and Oscar, I think the two freshmen coming in, two as of right now, are freaks, and I think Lawson and Pierce are going to be. I mean, the tight end room is just going to be stronger and stronger every year if it keeps going the way it is. So, I mean, dude, Pierce is 6'7", 260-ish, and
oh my goodness,
yeah. Lawson's running
Lawson a dog. That's my guy.
Listen,
that boy Lawson is a dude. He came in, so he came into practice.
Punch you in the face.
Dude, he came into practice with us during bowl practice, with the early enrollees. I mean, shoot, now everybody does it. But he was there, and, dude, he was running some routes, and we were like, damn, like that boy cold.
Yeah.
Well, that's not even, in my opinion, the best part of his game. From what I've seen, he is a elite blocker, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he can run block like crazy. Like, so that's going to be a big role too. But, man, we greatly appreciate your time, Rylan. Make sure you go check out the Real Talk show with Rylan and Tate over there. It's Real Talk WRT on all the social medias, man. Appreciate you, and good luck on the wedding, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks, boys. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man.
Congrats, man. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers, boys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, man. Thank you. All right. So that was Ryland Goede joining with us, guys. We really appreciate him being on. What is it, TK?
Yeah,
I'm getting on that show for sure.
Yeah,
gotta get on that show. Room for that guy, man. I think he can go out there and ball, man. I didn't know he was that big. Boy, got some size to him.
He's got the size, and like he said, Fitzpatrick for Georgia a couple years ago was the third string tight end. Okay, and he's playing for the Atlanta Falcons right now. So he got drafted out. That's the kind of production that Georgia is putting out there, and just how stacked that room has been over. I mean, we all know what Oscar Delp and Brock Bowers have done. Of course, Darnell Washington's probably going to be a first round pick. So, man, it's real interesting to see what's going on. Now it's time for a little new segment here on the show that we, well, you know what? Actually, I tried to call TK before because there was a little breaking news right before we came on the show. So, TK, if you don't mind, I'm going to steal the King of the Week segment right here because we got a little breaking news to All right, time for Tavarres' King of the Week, but I'm going to take it this week because it just happened right before Warren Brinson earlier this week, okay? He put out a tweet at the White House, at the president, saying, what, no invite for the Bulldogs for the back-to-back champs to the White House because they didn't get invited last year, and they hadn't so far got invited this year. Well, guess what? About 48 hours later, the White House extends an invite, and the Georgia Bulldogs are going to the White House. So, Warren Brinson, you are the King of the Week.
Hey, Big Warren.
I like that.
He is the King of the Week. Also, another King of the Week is our Tavarres King over there. This man putting on the Habersham Raiders up there, paying for the basketball team's meal as they go to the playoffs. So kudos to you, man. That was a nice thing you did, TK.
Yeah, for sure, man. Shout out my Raiders, man, as they're state bound in basketball, both girls and boys, man. Shout out to them. Shout out Kaya Barrett for winning Player of the Year. For the Lady Raiders. So yeah, man, it's super awesome to be from the Sham, and you know that.
Yeah, Diane Collins says Warren Brinson is the man. Absolutely. Jay calls him a damn good dog there. So a lot of stuff going on. And now, guys, we have a lot of people that want to ask you some questions. And this is going to be the first time we've done a little bit of the mailbag here. Absolutely. A little mailbag central right here. So we had some questions from members of the legendary dog vent, the oldest Georgia community that's been around and the biggest 1997 since UGA Sports been around, all the way going back to the Grapevine days. Now it's the dog vent, of course. But we got some questions right off the bat, and people want to hear from you guys, two Georgia legends, because this is the only show, guys, week in and week out, that you're going to talk to two beloved and legendary dogs each week. So here we go. Mailbag question number one is from LRA Dog. Said, I'd be curious to know if there's any smack talking with Peyton Manning, that is, when UGA and Tennessee played each other when you guys are in Denver.
Yeah. There was, that's smack talk week in and week out, but definitely want to say something for sure to P when we play in Tennessee. What about you, Sauce? I know y'all spent a little more time together. I know y'all had some banter back and forth for sure.
Oh, of course, man. You always have to have a little banter back and forth. I feel like that's with any school. That's with any of one of your guys. You know what I mean? Any one of your guys that went to another school, once they play, throughout the season, you're going to walk up to their locker and be like, hey, you know who's playing this week? Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? So it was the same thing with Peyton.
Yeah.
Well, when Matt Stafford came on a couple of weeks ago, he said he enjoyed taking a couple shekels from the Alabama guys a couple years ago, so putting a little money on it,
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was trying to think of other dudes that was in the locker room in Denver. Malik Jackson, if you're watching this, you still owe me about $500 from like 2013. So yeah, I need that. Run me that, and then with the interest on there.
With the inflation now, that who knows what that may be? Absolutely.
I need all that.
You owe me something, Robert Ayers. Ayers, you owe me something too. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's always a good time when the two schools are playing, man, and you can go up to your buddy's locker and kind of talk about the game, put something on it, and it gives you something to look forward to for that weekend. So it definitely does happen, man. I love it.
Absolutely. ASU Dog says, what was one thing that you're most proud of and one thing you regret the most in your football career? We'll do that one first. And then the next one is, when did you realize you were good enough to go to the NFL? So thing you're most proud of and thing you regret the most in your football career.
Most proud of? Man, probably just fulfilling every dream. I mean, you obviously, when you're in high school, you dream to play at the next level, and that's college. And then, it's the next level. So, I mean, obviously just fulfilling all those dreams. And then I guess the regret is probably everybody's regret that plays our sport, is that it it didn't end on my terms. I think that's probably everybody's like, damn, I didn't get to, hang it up when I wanted to. It was due to injury or something like that. So that's probably the biggest thing. Just things that were kind of out of my control. But you kind of, I don't think you can play this game with regret. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Knowshon?
I have to piggyback on that as well. TK is just being able to get to that level. You know what I mean? Not too many people. You got to think of how many college players are there. You know what I mean? Like over 3,000, 4,000. I mean, it's a lot of players out there, and a select few get to go play at that next level. So, just blessed and fortunate to be able to go to the next level. Very proud that. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna interject. When you're proud, but at what point did you know? Okay, I can make it to the league. Like when did that enter your mind?
Yeah. So definitely proud of, and just fortunate and blessed that I made it to the Super Bowl, stuff like that. Same thing, TK, injury. But actually, I don't really have that many regrets, man. I think, went out there and gave them my all each and every moment. And then the last one, like you said, when did I know? I don't know. maybe in college. You know what I mean? When you got to think, we in the
say
SEC.
like second grade.
Nah, I think in college. I mean, you always hear it from people. You know what I mean? Oh man, you're gonna get to the next level. You're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, bro, I'm focused right now. I appreciate that, but like, I don't know. You know what I mean? We're gonna let it happen. Whatever happens, happens. And I feel like I didn't know until college, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, but bruh, Rylan said something interesting. Like when your peers, like when your peers start getting drafted and going number 12 pick overall, and you like, damn, like that's my dog. Like I can do this shit. So like when you start, like, I don't know, I guess for me, like when you get drafted and you see Staff get drafted and you see like Mo get drafted, Big Bro, like, and you then AJ, like a guy I came in with, then you like, damn, then Durham, and you like, you know, folks that's in the room with you, and you like, I'm about to get drafted.
That's interesting.
All right, you know, so I guess I would say in college too. I mean, because like I said earlier, you always have those dreams of going to the next level, but I guess it doesn't really hit home until, you know, you're looking around and those guys next to you are, you know, doing those things that, you know, you want to do as well.
That's
I'll tell you when I
knew. Because,
I was gonna say, I'll tell you when I knew TK was going to get drafted.
When?
I went over to Gainesville High School one night and saw him tear the Red Elephants up, like absolutely just go ham in that game over there. And I was like, yep.
But that's funny. Like that's so funny because, like Saul said, people tell you like you don't ever like like you don't ever like put that into like perspective. I don't feel.
And think about all the guys in high school that were balling like that had never made it. I mean, I've had guys on my team that were balling, teams a town over, running backs that were balling in New Jersey. I'm like, bro, they're about to go crazy, and they never made it. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's interesting that you say, TK, you see guys leaving and you kind of like, yeah, that could be me. I don't feel like I ever thought of that until I was like, all right, I'm going to declare. You know what I mean? Like, and just see what happens. I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
This man just said this man jumping over people, jumping from the seats and shit in Arizona, talking about, I never thought of that until I was like, I'm going to declare. Boy,
I'm just telling you.
When he came up like this at the pylon out in Tucson, I knew he was.
Man, come on, man. That man crazy. This man out here flying like Superman, talking about he ain't know.
All right, we're gonna have to start chopping through these so we can get to our Elite 11 here. Knowshon, were you okay with the coach's decision to redshirt you, or frustrated? And which coach at UGA inspired you the most?
I wasn't frustrated. Of course, I wanted to play, man. Of course, you want to go out there and be on the field with your brothers, especially putting all that work in throughout the week and then not being able to go out there. But at the same time, I was fortunate, and I was like, all right, I'm going to take this opportunity to get better. And that's what I did. Each and every week that we went out there and practice, I was going against the ones on defense. And what I tried to do, go crazy on them. They didn't like me. Of course, they was throwing me around and stuff like that. But it don't matter, because I'm going to go out there and work, because when my opportunity comes, I want to be ready. So I wasn't that frustrated, because I knew, once I got my opportunity, I was going to make the most of it. And I wouldn't say one coach inspired me over the other, but it was just so many great coaches. And that was a part of my journey, and that was there when we were there. Tony Ball, Rodney Garner, Bobo, all these guys, you know what I mean? And you can go down the list. Coach Rick, you know what I mean? Everyone. So, we really had some great coaches, and I was just inspired to go out there and just protect Stafford and go out there and try to do what we can do.
This one, a little tongue-in-cheek from Donut Dog, his legendary dog vendor over there. He said, ask him how it feels to be two of Donut Dog's favorite dogs of all time. It's a big honor to be on my very prestigious list. And they're up there with DJ, Pollock, Chubb, AJ, and Champ. So y'all in some rarefied air for Donut Dog.
I rock with that. Why don't I got a question for Donut Dog when we get back, if we can get back to him. Why Donut Dog? If it's anything to do with like Krispy Kreme or Dunkin', go ahead and send the boys some of them. You know what I'm saying?
If you own a franchise, and they want to know.
Go ahead and do that.
Tavarres, he got a follow-up, sincere question for you. He said, what do they, especially Tavarres, think about our current wide receiver roster and the incoming freshmen?
Man, go back and watch a few shows, and then watch the last show as well. I talked about Don Blaylock being a big attribute to this receiver room that we already have. Just because,
love it.
Yeah,
Yep.
my
because
fault.
Blaylock's heading out.
My fault. Dominic love it because the fans gonna love it. Correct. He's gonna be a big asset to the group that we have because he's kind of different, kind of like Miko Hardman, kind of a fast twitch wiggle guy. But then you got Ladd that can do that. So you got some guys that can take the top off defenses. And then you talked about guys coming in. You got some speedsters coming in. What's my man?
Anthony Evans.
Anthony Evans. You got some speedsters coming in. Anthony Evans, big guy we talked about last week. Big 6'5" guy we talked about last week. Coming in. We got some guys coming in that I think are going to compete.
That receiver room is crazy.
Going to compete at a high level. And I think it'll be like kind of like it was in 2012, a culmination of a bunch of guys. You're never going to know where the ball is going to go, and that's always special for a quarterback to do because defenses can't just hone in on one person. They'll have to play true to what they do. So it'll be pretty special.
I got a little tip today.
Tell me everything. Tell me everything. Right. Don't leave nothing out.
Insider tip. The guy that we hadn't really talked about in that incoming freshman class. His name's Yazeed Haynes.
Oh, little small speedster.
Yazeed Haynes from up in Philly.
That was last week. Was that last week that happened?
Yeah. Listen, apparently,
he's fast.
Yazeed Haynes is already making people think that is that a Donnie Mitchell out there? Like, is that him? Like that? Right, apparently, that's what he's looking like. I mean, they're saying he's got a little shake. He's got some short area quickness. His routes are crisp. And the dude can fly. So
I had him at 10, I think, or 9 last week when we did that top 11.
We didn't hear about him.
No,
I know because I didn't go that high. Remember, I was at 9. I couldn't pick him at 9. That's a little bit too.
Easy.
He was at 10.
Goose fraba.
Or maybe he was at 12. But yeah, I remember that though. I like that, Blayne.
OU Herschel Walker, which teammate during your time at Georgia was the toughest guy or the biggest badass on the team? John Stinchcomb, Russ Tanner say that everyone knew not to mess with Odell Thurman. They said Odell could throw some hands back in the day when he was there. So what about you guys? Who was the guy that you did not want to get in a shoot fight with?
Man, I mean, it was several dogs on the defense. Like Donnell Ellerby was a dog. But I'm telling you, I mean, I talk about the dude all the time. Ben Jones. You didn't want to mess with Ben Jones. Ben Jones is crazy.
You're right, though. And he nasty, he's dirty. He a dirty
exactly,
dude.
Bro. Ben Jones, man, look. Short story. Me and Ben in the house one night. Ben was my roommate. We chilling. I'm poking the bear. I'm messing with him, doing whatever. We done had a couple. This man... Somehow we get to talking junk. He like, I'll choke you out. I was like, I'll never tap. And I tell you, this boy grabbed me, put me in the hog nose, he called it. Grab my nose, put me in something. Bruh, I was out. When I woke up, he was laughing. All I could do was laugh.
You're like, I don't even know what happened.
More of the story is tap, folks.
Yeah,
tap.
Don't mess with Ben Jones.
Tap. That man's crazy. Nah, man. Yeah, that's one of them for sure. Ben's a wild boy, but yeah, he was definitely someone I would say.
All right. You got another one? You got another one?
I'm just gonna go Brandon Miller real quick.
B. Miller?
Brandon Miller.
Woo!
Brandon B. Mill, big linebacker for us. I mean, the
big
man
12. That's big 12.
He was about 30. I don't know if he was. The man had to be about 30. Come on now. Brandon Miller was a fool, man. Look up his picture. If anyone wants to see Brandon, look it up right now. Brandon Miller. I bet
looks
he's
like
gonna be standing over somebody. Sorry, go ahead. Next.
Yo, he was huge, bro. Like
that boy.
They went
no one messed with B Mill.
They went from that 12 to this 12. This little ass 12. Yo, God.
Oh my gosh. Good stuff. Listen, that Ben Jones clip, that's gonna go viral, TK. My God. People are gonna love hearing about that one. That's a good one. Ask him. That's true story. Hey, we need to ask him. You need to get him on here with us.
Hey, look, we'll get him on. I mean, I ain't even worried about it. He might be the next guest. Not the next guest.
Yeah, not the next guest. Salenza says, can you ask Knowshon what he thinks are the reasons for the relatively disappointing 2008 season when the team was preseason number 1 and ended up losing 3 regular season games?
Ooh, crazy. That's a good little question. Man, I don't know. 2007 season, we ended strong. That whole end of the season, winning so many late and then going out, and smacking Hawaii. So it was great to go into that next season number 1, but we knew we had to, kind of stay there. But Alabama had different plans for us and came down to Georgia, and it was a runaway early, but still ended up 30-41 kind of game. So we didn't have a chance, I don't think. But I think we just dropped the ball in a lot of different situations. I mean, that one we lost to that one, we lost the Florida game, and they were trying to make a point. They were pissed off for the year before when
you jumped in the end zone and then the whole team came out there.
Yeah, they were so mad. They weren't having it, you know what I mean? So they smacked us up a little bit. But I think the most disappointing part of that whole season was, losing to Georgia Tech, bro. Listen, you never lose to Georgia Tech. That's all I'm saying. You just never lose to Georgia. I don't care if you don't win any games until that game, all right? You win that game, and we just couldn't stop them. You know what I mean? I think a 42-45 game. It was a high-scoring game. Defense, we just couldn't stop them. You know what I mean? We were putting points on the board, but, definitely a disappointing year, especially starting number 1. But when you look at the year before, going 11-3, right? 11-3, or was it 2? We only lost 2. So 11-2, and then, going 10-3, not that bad, but it definitely should have been better for sure.
Well, now it's time that's a great mailbag session. We're going to be doing that, every couple of weeks, probably.
Yeah, I rock with mailbag.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. We appreciate everybody on the dog vent. Now it's time to get to our Elite 11. And the way this countdown works is we take turns. We're going to go. Y'all want to go in the same order as last week? Or what do y'all want
really?
to do?
Let's do the same order.
Okay,
no. Okay, what you want to do, T?
Same order.
No, because you looking at your list.
Same order, B.
No, same order.
Same order, B.
List.
So it's going to be TK, myself, and then Knowshon going. We're going to select, counting down from number 11 down to number 1, 1 being the best non-conference SEC game of the year. We're going to be going through it on the Elite 11 here. So what I want to do here is we'll let TK kick it off. Remember, 11's the worst of these games that we're listening, the relative worst, and then 1's going to be the best.
Hey.
So there's a lot of really good non-conference SEC games coming up in the fall. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And also, if you want a little bonus points, go ahead and throw out what you think a spread might be on one of these games if you want to. But TK, go ahead and kick us off, my man, and let us know at number 11, what game are you picking as the 11th best non-conference SEC game this year?
Listen, bro, I don't even know why this was even on the list to pick from.
Yeah, seriously. We did
UGA, Georgia Tech.
Exactly.
Why the fuck? I almost said the F word. Why the F is this on here, bro? Like, this is a like
there was a lot like this, T.
I just listed non-conference games.
I'm gonna tell you why I put it. Because it's a dog show, baby. We're gonna start this thing off right. I put it number 11, bro. But we gonna paint brush them like again. Like I don't 11.
Well, and listen, you got to give Tech credit this past year. They came out and they played hard for Brent Key. I mean, they kept it close there for a long portion of that game. That's probably one reason that and another guy that we're going to talk about that's on this list kind of turned the job down through some different circumstances. But that's probably one big reason that Brent Key got that job. So Georgia Tech, clean old fashioned hate as always. Always as Knowshon said, you always enjoy playing the in-state rival and things like that. So that is number 11. I'm gonna look at the list here, and I'm gonna go with one of a team that I think should be pretty interesting this year, simply because we had a guest earlier that's going to be playing for one of the teams involved here. So I think this is going to be an interesting one because I think the Pac-12 team involved is going to be a lot better, and I want to see early on what this Mississippi State offense is going to look like making the switch. I put number 11. I got to change it to number 10. Number 10 on the list is going to be Arizona Wildcats visiting Mississippi State. Last year, they went out there to Arizona.
Damn,
just weird kind of game.
Arizona was trash.
Yeah, they were. I think they're getting a lot better. They get to, quarterback back, and I'm just intrigued to see. I'm going to be intrigued to watch it myself just because it's one of the earlier games for Mississippi State, and we get to see that new offense that's over there. And, Zach Arnett now is the head coach. TK, you and I have been, singing the praises of Zach Arnett for a couple years now, just what he's done defensively, and now he gets to be the lead man over there. So that's my number 10 on the list. What, Knowshon, y'all got any thoughts on that, or what about y'all want to move on to number 9?
T.
I'm against it. Arizona, I can't give you that. It was better games on the list than that one. I didn't look at that one like that.
Yeah. Number 10? Okay. I'm keeping them.
I had Vandy
my expectations high for them low picks now.
All right, go ahead.
I had that Vandy Wake at that 10 position, but
So who do you want to go with?
All right, let's go at number 9. For number 9, I'm gonna go. It's the second game of their season. I think it's gonna be a good game. The Ole Miss Tulane game.
Oh my gosh! Listen.
Calm down.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, where you put that? You put it at 9?
I put it at 9, just because the season. Just because both of those didn't really have the best ending of the seasons. Both are going to be
Tulane
receivers.
Tulane did. They've won the dang bowl game.
Oh, sorry. I'm talking about Ole Miss. But Tulane had a really good record. And they got a lot of their guys coming back next year. So I just think it's going to be a good game. And then it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do. Ole Miss with their quarterback position. Are they going to stick with Dart, or maybe some of these younger guys that come in? But I love that they still have Junkins over there, running back over there. So that's going to be great for them. But I just think this is going to be a good game at 9. Second game of the season. We're going to see who wants it more.
All right, you're going to make me do it right here.
She don't want that 2-footed bad boy. She don't want that Dos Zapatos animal. You know what I'm saying?
Dos Zapatos, 2 feet down on it. Prediction right here. Whatever the spread is, whatever Ole Miss is favored by, I'm taking Tulane to cover it. And I may even take Tulane outright as it gets closer because, listen, Willie Fritz has that program going the right direction over there at Tulane, and that is a tough – I don't even know why Ole Miss would take that game. You think about Tulane for the last couple of years, what they've been doing, going out to Oklahoma and giving the Sooners all they can handle. And now you got to go over there into the Bayou, okay, over there into New Orleans over there and take care of – the Green Wave is going to give the Rebs all they can handle in that one. That's a Dos Zapatos prediction for me.
That's outright dub, you saying, my boy?
I said I'm going to take them to cover for sure. And as we get closer to the season, I may take them to outright win.
You should just go outright win if you want to put the 2 feet down.
Hey,
because
we got a lot of content to put out. Knowshon,
chalk that one up, though. Write that down.
I'm gonna write that one down because at the same time, like you are assuming that Ole Miss will be favored in that. Maybe they won't even be favored. So
they'll be favored. They'll be favored.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I'll be favored in it. All right, TK, you got number 8, my man.
Man, I do like I like that pick. I had that game picked a little lower because I think that's a big game just for Ole Miss, and Tulane was they're kind of sneaky. One game I am interested to see, keeping it in state, is Georgia State. They play Georgia State at LSU. I think it's just going to be a funky game.
What?
Yeah, I just think it's going to be a funky game. They play Georgia State been playing a good style of football. They've been playing having a lot of opportunities against some good teams. And then you get to go to LSU. That game will probably be during the day. It won't be a night game. I think
that's a great point.
That's a sleeper. Yeah, that's a sleeping time for those crazy ass Cajuns down there. So they might not even be awake for that thing. So I don't know, bro.
Can't get drunk by 11 a.m.
No, they can. They probably still might be drinking.
from the night
that's a
before.
late game too. I mean, by that time, they're gonna be in a stride. I would believe LSU.
I would think, which gives you all more, which gives it all more of that sleeper effect. And too,
Okay.
like I said, Georgia State, you got to look at how they've been playing over the past couple of years, just like a Tulane team has been playing.
I felt like they were like 4 and something last year.
Yeah, but I mean, they beat some
Stop
SEC
it, Blayne.
teams
I
in the
hear that
past.
stuff.
Listen, what
they went up to Knoxville a couple years ago and won.
Exactly, bro.
A couple years ago.
Hey,
I'm
gonna hit the Blayne. Don't make me do it. Don't make me. Nah, I ain't gonna do that shit.
All right. Now I'm gonna go with number 7. This is a rematch of where I will acknowledge Knowshon was right on this one last year. I was wrong. I was wrong on this one, but it's an intriguing deal because it's a bounce back year for Sam Pittman and Arkansas, and it is a pivotal year for BYU because BYU is entering into the Big 12. BYU at Arkansas comes in at number 7 for me. I think that's an entertaining game. Like I said, BYU's got a lot to prove coming into SEC country, and now they're doing so under the Big 12 banner. So, exciting times for the Cougars out there. And Sam Pittman, the honeymoon's kind of over now. It's going to get a little hot around the collar over there for the pit boss if he doesn't win this year over there.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I mean, had a couple of years of like doing this, and then you have a couple of years of plateau and just some games, losing some games that you probably shouldn't have lost. So I think that that honeymoon phase with Sam Pittman is kind of dying. So yeah, that BYU game was a great pick. That's going to be a huge game.
I like that one.
All right, Knowshon.
You had that one at 7, huh?
I had it at 7.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good game as well, man. 3rd game of the season, and they losing. I mean, Bumper Pool, it was like his 7th year. Yeah, I feel like he was there forever. So
he was on that Stetson meal plan.
Yo, for real. I think I still got Drew over there, Drew Sanders, I believe, still over there. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. They better win that 3rd game, but I don't know. So this is 6, right? Because I had them at 6.
Yeah,
so now I'm at 6. Should I do this?
Wait a minute.
I can't mess up my list. All right. I'm just going to go to this Kentucky Louisville game.
I like it. That's a good pick right there.
Yeah, I like that game. Last game of the season. We're going to see where these two teams are when it gets there. The best quarterback in the land, according to Blayne, is going to be out there, and we're going to see what's up.
What's Brett's name?
What is
you know him? You know him, Sauce?
I think I might have seen something with him. But he's the best quarterback in the land. So we're gonna see, and we're gonna see how that holds up. I mean, just how last year, Alabama was gonna win every game by 15. But we'll see how that quarterback situation go. But I like them at 6.
I think Devin Leary is a huge pickup. Liam Cohen coming back for Kentucky is even bigger pickup. Listen, you go look at Kentucky's schedule. Before their bye week, Georgia is the only team that I really see I can chalk it up as a just automatic loss, I think, in that one. They have a legitimate chance to have one loss going into the Alabama game if they can shore up the offensive line. And what they have done by bringing in Marquez Cox and bringing in Trevor Bowles over there from Alabama. They've added 2 transfers there. They've added Ray Davis from Vanderbilt. They have a trio of wide receivers, PK, that are nasty. I like Kentucky a lot.
I love the receivers out there. Obviously, the big question mark is at the helm at the quarterback position. Actually, 2 big question marks. Offensive line was terrible last year. Man, I don't know. There's question marks all around because just the backs. You don't have Cavassier in the backfield as well as Evans. So I
like the Ray pickup. The Ray pickup.
I do like that pickup, but again, all that's got to come together. So again, there's so many question marks about that team, but I do like it on paper. I must say I do love it on paper.
And TK, you at number 5.
Numero 5. Top 5. All right, man. I'm gonna hit the Knowshon. I could go here.
Ooh.
Could go there.
So I can't go with these.
Man, top 5.
Come on now.
I'm gonna go. listen, this is what we're gonna do. I'm going Texas A&M at Miami, and this is the reason, bro. And this is why you make a top 5, Jimbo.
Why?
This is why you make a top 5, because of the implications of your job, Jimbo Fisher. Like, you've got to win a big game, man. You've been doing some not so good things over there in College Station, bro.
Suspect at best.
Yeah, so I think that, man, having a Miami team coming in there that should be pretty good. I think under is Mario Cristobal correct?
Yeah, but I mean, they were hot garbage last year.
They
were expected to be good.
They were expected to be
same
good.
Same thing with Texas A&M.
But yeah, right. I think you got two teams with the same kind of roadmap. And that's
a desperation.
But I think more implications for just job and just overall everything going on.
What are they going to do at quarterback?
You're looking at Texas A&M. Yeah,
I mean, they got Connor Wegman, who came in and he really did spin it for him those last couple of games. I mean, he's got a strong arm. Listen, and TK will tell you this: Moose Muhammad and Evan Stewart are nice.
They're dogs. They're dogs. They got dogs out there, which is, but that's that's the whole basis. I think how long we've been running this thing, bro? 3 years, bro. Me and you, Blayne. I've been saying the same thing for 3 years. Jimbo's got to produce. I mean, he's got to produce, bro. He gets top tier talent every year in, year out, whether it's with money or not. You have it there. So you gotta do something with it. But that's the only reason I put them boys in that top five.
Let me ask you a quick question. On that? Yeah, no, just a quick question. They don't usually let, in the league, they'll let a head coach go in the middle of the season, get out of there. They don't usually do that in college, though, right? So,
I feel like if it's bad, they'll get
if it's real bad.
Get his ass up out of there, bro.
During the season, no, I've never seen
his ass up out of here.
Hey, Alex Page, someone needs to look that up.
He said, "Look that up, bro." They be trying to get people out of there, bro. Why was
in the middle of the season?
Why was Cadillac the coach?
Oh, you're right. That was towards the end. Okay,
get his ass up, bro. They don't be.
That's like bowl game though. That was bowl game though, right?
That was a couple games.
He said Jumbo been recruiting, not doing much else over there. So listen, here's the thing. Jimbo was kind of strongly encouraged to go out and get an offensive coordinator. They ain't saying we ain't telling you what to do, but we're telling you need to go get So he goes out and gets Bobby Petrino, who has SEC head coaching experience. Okay. All I'm saying is if they can stomach that buyout and things go south, they lose this Miami game. They've got a guy who's been a SEC head coach. I don't care about the scandals, whatever, that they could fill in there. And listen, Bobby Petrino, he's brought in there to kind of, bring that offense into the 21st century. So we'll see how that
seemed like two strong ass personalities too, bro.
It is.
Wait,
it is.
Who had that game? Oh, no.
That was TK at number number 5. I'm going number 4. This game is one that, you've kind of got two programs that are going opposite directions a little bit here. And, I think that it's pivotal early on in the year for both of these teams that have, hopes of trying to make a little bit of noise in their respective conferences. So I'm going to go at number 4 with South Carolina versus North Carolina in Charlotte.
Really?
Okay. Because Shane Beamer had the guys rolling there at the end of the year. Despite the bowl game loss to Notre Dame, they beat the brakes off of Tennessee, hung 63 on them, and then beat Clemson, then lose to Notre Dame. North Carolina, man, under Mac Brown, there's been a lot of excitement. They've been able to recruit real well. They lost a heartbreaker to Oregon in their bowl game this year, but it just hasn't panned out the way that I think a lot of the Tar Heel fans thought it was going to pan out over there. So this will be big for the momentum for South Carolina early on in the season against North Carolina. Your guys' thoughts on the matchup of the Carolinas?
I like that pick. I think it is obviously any time like we said earlier, you play your rival, it'll be big, but I think it'll be big for just Gamecock Nation, really. That's a big game. So
and listen, it's two of the more better known quarterbacks coming back. Spencer Rattler and Drake May are two big time, big name quarterbacks. And maybe not in the results all the time on Rattler. He did play well at the end, but he's obviously well known. And Drake May, of course, is, you know, a lot of people were talking about before the last couple of games of the year that he could have been a Heisman contender last year. So he was putting up some numbers. So interesting there. All right, Knowshon, we're in the top 3. What you got, man?
I like it. I had that South Carolina game at 3.
Just look at the top 4 on our list over there on our thing because there's some big ones.
Nah, because that one is number 1. This one is number 2. All right, let me go. Should I make a big splash here? Sorry, my fault. Because I could go big splash or little splash. Let's go with this Florida versus Utah game, man. First game of the season.
I'll take it.
Let's see what they're gonna do. Florida, man. That season they weren't expecting the season that they had, man. It started up pretty well, but it wasn't what they were expecting. A lot of turmoil with the coaches and things going on. And Utah ain't playing no game, so I think that's gonna be a good game. I mean, Utah got a lot of their players coming back. So hey, let's start this first game off right and see what Florida can do. Man, they gotta figure out the quarterback position. It's gonna be a lot. I'm gonna be watching them.
Listen,
she don't want that 2-footed bad boy. She don't want that Dos Zapatos animal. You know what I'm saying?
This man did 2 of them.
It's got to go 2 because this one I ain't even
that
going to
question. That boy got
this
20,
one I'm not
20
even
toes down.
I banged the drum all last offseason and said that Utah would come to Gainesville, Florida, and beat them. And if Cameron Rising and Kyle Whittingham don't lose their mind and decide to stop running the football like they did all the way down the field, and he throws that pick at the end, he basically give the game away. They would have. Humidity got him a bit out there in Gainesville. Humidity ain't going to be an issue out there in Salt Lake City, okay? But you know what is an issue? The Florida program that's in absolute disarray, has no quarterback, had a lot of people, leave off that offensive line. They're having to replace 4 of the 5 starters on the offensive line. Florida's in absolute shambles. My Dos Patos 2 feet prediction is Utah is going to beat the brakes off of Florida to start the year.
Listen,
absolutely beat the brakes off of them.
My boy doubled down on it.
No, I can see that way. Yeah, I like what Alex said though. This might be the year.
He's going to live up to it. Alex also said, Knowshon, you're right about a midseason coaching changes happens more than the NFL. Last year you had Auburn and Georgia Tech, but he said, the contract buyouts keep coaches from leaving. All right, so we're down to the final 2 here.
You guys better not go here.
TK, you get number 2. There's 2 big ones remaining out there.
Come
so
on,
I'm really
TK.
curious to see which one you take.
Yeah, me too. You got to get.
I think that the Texas-Bama game is going to be huge too.
Look, he said he wanted it to be number 1. Look.
Yeah, Texas at Alabama coming out there. I saw right before the show, FanDuel put out some early spreads, and they've got Alabama as an 8.5-point favorite in this one with the Longhorns coming in. Sark coming back to Tuscaloosa, making his return there. He was offensive coordinator. But TK, what do you like about this game, man?
All of that. Sark's coming back. Bama played him so boo-boo last year. Or you could say Texas played them tough last year. Quarterback play is up in the air at Bama. I think at both places. Yeah, at both places. So I mean, shoot, and if I'm about to say Eli Manning, if it's Arch, if it's my dog team, if it's Arch, then I mean, yeah, even more eyes will be on the game. So I mean, it'll be a showcase. Obviously, prime time, 8:30 game for sure. No questions about it. And then you've got the questions of what Texas is going to look like coming into the SEC. Obviously, playing against the SEC team. So yeah, it'll be a fun one for sure. We're gonna be definitely fire up one of them rec techs for show for that one.
No doubt. Listen,
I can't wait. Yeah.
Texas gave Alabama all they could handle last year, exactly. and if Quinn Ewers doesn't go down, he was torching the Alabama defense early on. So he went down with that injury, but it is intriguing there because we don't know if it's going to be Jalen Milroe or if it's going to be Ty Simpson for Alabama. We don't know if it's going to be Arch Manning or Quinn Ewers for Texas. So very, very interesting there. Now, the thing about this is, you know, when Texas comes over here, it's also a question of how improved is that defense. But Alabama brought in Tommy Rees from Notre Dame as their offensive coordinator, and he was not their first, not their second, not their third, but their fourth choice because they missed out on Grubb from Washington. They missed out on Joe Moorhead from Akron, the head coach. They missed out on Freddie Kitchens. And then they go and hire Tommy Rees. A lot of Alabama people are not happy with that hire. So it's going to be fascinating to see all that play out. I am very happy that I actually get to make the number one selection, whereas last week TK just totally swept number one, what should have been number one in our impact players and dominant love it. He took him at 2.
Try to change it
Listen,
now.
bro. Listen, you know I got to
was number one.
I had to talk about the wideouts.
Absolutely. You definitely deserve that one. But this could be, and we get it week 1, it could be the best game all year because there is a ton of talent on this field.
Here we go again.
It was a classic last year. It was a classic.
I know, but you are once again saying, "Oh, this is going to be the best one this year." Like again,
I think I used the word could. I think I said could. I didn't say it's going to. I didn't hit the Dos Zapatos button. So cool you jets over there, Sauce. You know what I'm saying?
No. Go ahead.
This man's like Knowshon's getting like, oh, he's like, get off my lawn.
Listen, because the followers that been following us from the beginning know you said other. So I gotta watch you.
It is LSU versus FSU. This time not in New Orleans, but at a neutral site location in Orlando. Listen, early on right now, I'm picking LSU to win the West, and I'm picking FSU to win the ACC. This is 2 really good teams. FSU used every NIL dollar known to man to bring back a bunch of their roster. They brought back Jordan Travis. They brought back Verse, the defensive end that could have been a first-round draft pick. They brought him back. Brought back their wide receiving core, their running back Benson. They brought back a bunch of stuff, and LSU is absolutely loaded for bear. I think this is going to be a great game, guys. I really enjoyed. I mean, we watched that game last year. What do y'all think about what it could bring this year?
Yeah, it's probably another knockout, drag out game just like that. With even more like anxiety and wants attached to it from the Florida State side, just because of how they or LSU side as well. I mean, just because of how that game went down, everybody's gonna know the implications of it. So yeah, I think that game is gonna be huge.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it, man.
Absolutely. Guys, it's been a fantastic show. The entire time we've had scrolling across the bottom, promo code UGA Sports for 10% off at Smack Apparel, guys. They've partnered up with the show here. I want to show you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. They've got some cool stuff. We've been wearing the shirts on a couple, but look over here, national champs with the frog in his mouth. They hate us because they ain't us back-to-back national champ shirts. Saturdays we hunker down. Some cool stuff over here, straight out of Athens. And then this one is the classic. It says, meet Dick. Dick is a Gator fan. Don't be a dick over there. So that is one of the shirts over there. You can go to smackapparel.com. The URL is in the description, in the comments down there. We would greatly appreciate it. It helps us out. You get 10% off. It helps out the show. So support Georgia Players section over here. But guys, what do you want to leave the people with before we head out now? I lost you.
Uh-oh. My fault.
There
My
you
fault. Oh, man, damn. Cut out on us. I went game mode. Not a lot, man. Enjoy your weekends. Enjoy your family.
I forgot the announcement.
Yeah.
I forgot the announcement. Listen,
give it to him.
We're doing a little bit something different next week. Okay. If you enjoy the show, next week we're going to be on Monday, the 27th, and we have a special guest. If Andy Stowe or any pro wrestling fans are out there, the phenomenal AJ Styles, former WWE champion, will be on with us live Monday night at 8:30 here on Georgia Players Section. AJ Styles is a huge Georgia Bulldogs fan. He'll be on here with us. So make sure to tell your friends if they enjoy a little pro wrestling talk and also enjoy, people who are just big Georgia fans, then tell them to come on, hop on board. But guys, another great one. I appreciate you two being on here with me as always. And guys, go ahead and like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and we will catch you next time on Georgia Players Section on UGAsports.com with Tavarres and Knowshon.
The best in this sport. Whether you like it or not, learn to love it because it's the best thing going today. Woo!